Can Alexey Shved be the leader of a winning team? This question has been polarizing the community of European basketball for a while now. Apparently, CSKA Moscow and Dimitris Itoudis believe in him as they signed Shved this summer. Khimki Moscow or careful EuroLeague fans might have a different opinion. We would like to know your thoughts too, so let's deep dive into this breakdown about Shved and then discuss it later in the comments section. In my previous video about Donatas Motiejūnas, we talked if his offensive game can outweigh his defensive liabilities. Shved has exactly the same problem, only on a much bigger scale. Nobody ever questioned his talent on the offensive side of the court. The guy won 2 EuroLeague scoring titles with Khimki, while also averaging 6 or 7 assists per game. He can find ways to score or create points against any defense you might choose to play. You defend passively with big weighting in the paint, he can offer a jump shot if you don't come closer. A miscommunication that leaves him open after a screen? Well, that's a practice shot for Shved. If passive defense leaves a gap to attack the paint, you can bet he will attack until the end like here and be patient enough to draw a foul or finish with a fancy layup. Empty corner pick and rolls are known to be deadly against the drop. Dorsey is chasing, Hunter is in the middle, and the low man has to make one step towards rolling Booker, because if not, that's an alley-oop dunk. Easy decision for Shved, as he creates an open free for Tima. And this is what happens when nobody comes to help. Khimki plays fake Spain pick and roll where the back screen doesn't happen. Jerebko just clears out, putting Oz Blazer in trouble. He becomes the new low man, but does not react in time to help, and Shved lobs up a perfect pass. Against drop, Shved doesn't use a lot of moves. He just knows that his defender is trailing, goes inside with speed, and then is so smart with his decisions at the last seconds. He lets the other team make mistakes on the defensive rotations and then sees the best option out of them all. Some plays he creates don't even show up on a stat line. On the same fake Spain pick and roll, with Jerebko clearing out early, he recognizes that Hunter is bumping the roll man and kicks the ball out for a hockey assist. And we need to start counting those in basketball too. Another strategy against some players is to try going under the first screen. Needless to say, that's not a good move against Shved. Other EuroLeague teams, the ones with mobile bigs like Barcelona, try to diminish Shved's influence by using hedges or shows on pick and rolls. The problem was that Khimki played these screens really high on the court, so he had a great amount of space for his favorite move, crossover and rejecting the pick. You can see Oriola is ready to hedge, but Shved sells the move with his body perfectly and fools Abrines. With this aggressive type of defense against Alexey, teams are aiming to lower his points total, but he can create them just as good as scoring. People are underrating this part of his game, but he constantly puts his teammates in the best positions to score. Here on this 4-corner pick and roll against hedge, he loves using speed and then passing to the corner, knowing that the low man, again, has to help inside. He is so good at reading defensive rotations and passing that one of the last options is to switch all ball screens. Barca is probably the team to follow if you want to see the perfect example of switching defense, but even that wasn't good enough to stop Shved. He is capable of hitting threes from anywhere at any time, as these shots are just unguardable. Oriola and Davies couldn't have defended these shots much better, but Shved hit them anyway. Okay, so quick recap. If you didn't know before, now you do. He is a big problem for the opponents. He can go off for 30 or 40 points on any given night, but leaders are not only those players that can score. Leaders set examples that other players follow, and the example Shved sets on defense is a terrible one. He often lacks motivation, concentration, and moreover, he conserves his energy in order to have more of it on the other side of the court. Like he can be stopped by any defensive measure, he cannot defend any offensive action. Let's start from transition defense. Whenever he misses a shot, he jogs back. Here, he could have taken a couple steps back immediately and picked up Tyler Dorsey, but instead he runs back slowly and allows Dorsey to score a free. Or here, look at his effort to stop Walkup after losing the ball. Amazing, right? If he defends a shooter, it's trouble. He will try to take the easy way out, cutting the screens. But you can be sure that players in the EuroLeague know how to punish that, and it's a risky move to make. In the next clip, Maccabi is playing a pin-down screen in the middle. Khimki, as I suppose, were playing top-lock defense with Shved not allowing Brian to go up. But look how easy he gets tricked with Brian cutting backdoor. None of these tactics work if you are afraid of the contact, and Shved rarely uses it in the defense. It is true that everyone has bad moments on the defense, but with Shved it happens too often. He is prone to lose concentration like here, where he doesn't box out his man and it costs Khimki 2 points after a good defensive sequence. However, these are only small problems compared to what happens on pick-and-roll defense. Complete lack of energy, gambling on steals, and getting stuck every single time. You can be the worst screener in the world, Shved will still get stuck. It happens because he leaves so much space between him and his opponent. At this point, it would be better if he went under, but the team has rules that you have to follow. This triggers loads of room for ball handlers and basically erases Shved from the play. Next clip, and Brian could use the screen immediately here. Usually the ball handler needs to prepare the screen to get his man stuck for at least a moment, but against Shved you don't really need to do these couple dribbles to the other side. With Shved defending the ball, offensive guards know that every time after the pick, there won't be anyone contesting the shot from behind. Now watch this clip and tell me this is the level of intensity you want your team's leader to be playing with. More like walking to the bar to grab some morning coffee than playing in a real game. From the first CSKA friendly games, we might have already seen one solution from Itoudis. Since Kurbanov is a good defender, he will probably guard the opposing shooting guards and pick and rolls, while Shved will take more responsibilities off ball and guard small forwards. Obviously, this plan will only work against those teams that don't have wingmen who can post up under the basket, as Shved is not extremely good at defending those two. All these previous clips were from Khimki games where Alexey was by far the most important piece of the puzzle. With him as a leader, Khimki had a winning percentage in only one of the last 4 seasons in the EuroLeague. He won't be asked to do that much in CSKA though, and in my opinion that's a positive change for him and for his new team. Offensively he will still be a huge weapon, just more effective as he won't be the only creator on the team. His 3-point percentage should improve as he will have more open shots instead of forced ones. On the defensive side he will have to step up. Itoudis will play a big role in masking his weaknesses, but Shved will have to take more responsibility about himself too. Also, CSKA rotation is long, so hurting the team on the defense might mean not playing at all, and I don't think Itoudis would tolerate that. This next season is Shved's best chance of winning the EuroLeague, but championships are won by giving everything on the defensive side, especially in hard playoff series. He will definitely play less minutes than he did in Khimki, so saving energy won't be there as an excuse. Can CSKA Moscow win with Shved in the team? Definitely yes. They have a solid roster and Shved adds what they were missing last year in the playoffs after losing Mike James, individual offensive superpower. But winning with him as a leader, I highly doubt it. He will be an important piece, but having a smaller role than in Khimki actually helps him and his team, as he won't be throwing ill-advised shots in the first seconds of the possession, and he will have to be motivated on the defensive end to stay in the court. If he can manage that, CSKA will have a real chance at winning it all this upcoming season. What do you guys think? Let's discuss it in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.